work in, there's this like dichotomy that happens where on the one part they were like, well, if women continually show non-contextualized images of themselves in bikinis and men reward them for it, then it's like women are being rewarded for something they didn't earn. But I don't completely agree with that. I actually like the women showing pictures in bikinis because I think it promotes people being healthy. And I think that really gets lost. Like, that's where a lot of the guys in the space disagree with me. It's like, no, I like the bikini pictures because what it does is in places like, this is the difference between a place like Dallas and a place like Chicago. In a place like Dallas, the girl who goes to the gym, who's the normal girl, she sees the girl who's a bottle service waitress or an exotic dancer, and she sees her on the Stairmaster for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and she's looking incredible. And maybe even she brings her husband to the gym, and her husband, she catches him glancing at her. And it causes her to be like, oh, fuck, I need to be in shape too. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it causes, now you go to Chicago or New York, you just don't see that. People just put on bigger overcoats in the winter and they don't do any of this. And so what I've noticed is in these southern cities, I like any photos that promote good health.
100%.
Yeah.
And this is something what we really are preaching about as well. Fitness really is a lifestyle, and it should not be about short-term preps, and looking great, it's really just a side effect of how healthy and happy you are.
Sure.
And that's, point blank. Like, that's how it should be, period.
Lizzie, you're getting into this whole field that they're getting into.
Oh, my God. Yes. I've been doing fitness. Like, I've been working out for 2 years now. And before, I was just doing modeling and eating like crap because I've always been really
I was there
skinny.
with you. I was there with you eating like crap. I remember, yeah.
I never thought that I would need to eat or have a diet because I've always been skinny, and I was like, I don't need it. But there was this point that I was like, you know what if I do it? And what if I can feel better and look better? And then I started doing it, and then I was like, man, I think it's working. I feel great. Energy is like up there. Just everything is much better with fitness.
You and I used to work out together. You remember that one video?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you remember that one video? So
yes.
I put
when was that? Like 7 years ago?
Yeah, I put 455 pounds on a squat rack. and I was like, and I put the Lizzie underneath it, and I was like, Lizzie, lift it one more time. Fucking you can do it, Lizzie. Come on. And I'm like screaming at her. And it's like fucking 4 plates on each side. And she's like, It was hilarious.
Now I can do that.
Yeah. Now you can. Now 455, no problem. On the leg press,
easy.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Another unique thing is that, like, if you were to ask me the 2 most dangerous cities in the last 30 years in North America, it is Sinaloa, Jalisco, and Tijuana, Chihuahua.
Culiacan, Sinaloa.
Culiacan, Sinaloa. You are from both of those places.
Yes.
And you actually talked to me about, like, in high school, like you joked with your boyfriends about getting them killed, like.
Oh my God, yeah, he's an American guy,
Yeah.
and he wanted to visit me in TJ.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, like just be careful, like you can get kidnapped or whatever. And then he's like, yeah, sure. So he crossed the border, walking, and my friend, she was gonna pick him up.
Yeah.
So then she texted him, and she's like, hey, when you come out to TJ, when you see this black van, just get in, and don't say anything. And he's like, okay. And he went, and it was just my friend, and she was like laughing, but then he really liked it. TJ's, it can be dangerous, but it's beautiful, and I grew up there. Luckily, nothing happened to me. Almost did. I think I told you about I almost got kidnapped and all these crazy things, but I still love TJ, and it just depends on where you go or if you know bad people. Like things that happen to you. But luckily, I'm still here. So, yeah, I survived. And I go there all the time. I was there last week.
You were born in the States.
Yes, I was born in California. Yeah.
And then moved back to Sinaloa?
So, yeah, I was born in California. And 2 years later, my dad lost his job. So they had to go back. And they just went back to TJ. And that's where I grew up. As such, my childhood was amazing. I had the best time. I played in the dirt and just animals all over, chickens. It was amazing. But when I grew up, I kind of saw that it can be dangerous for a woman, for a pretty woman. So that's when I decided that I was like, okay, it's time to leave.
Yeah.
And I didn't back there until something happened to me, the almost kidnapped.
Getting kidnapped, yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, this is my sign that I have to move out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I moved out to California and then Vegas, and now I'm here.
Why did you choose Vegas?
I didn't choose Vegas. I was in California, and one of my very good friends, she invited me to Vegas just to party, and I was partying, and one of these girls, cocktail waitress, she told me, she's like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You should work here. And I was like, thanks. I just never thought about it. And then
Oh, talk about, have the four of you all had the conversation with the cocktail waitress where they tell you how much they make and you're like, holy fuck? Has that happened to you guys?
Oh,
Ish.
Yeah.
That's
Did
what-
that ever happen to you when you first moved here?
No.
No, you just knew?
that's what
I
I
mean,
knew.
no, I don't think girls like want to share. They don't want to tell you their.
Really? I've had
their,
girls
you
tell
know, like,
what was your
they don't want you to
situation?
come take their job.
when she said that, like, oh, you're beautiful, you should work here, I kind of asked her a little
Yeah.
bit, and then she's like, yeah, I would do great money. She didn't say how much,
Yeah.
but, you know, and then I was like, okay, but then nothing. Then I went back, I came back like a week later, and then I was like, you know what, like, I don't have a boyfriend. Well, I had a boyfriend, but we were not good. So I was like, you know what, like, I don't have kids or not married, so I was like, I should just move here. And then I met this friend of mine. He helped me to get a job, Liquid Pool area.
I remember.
Yeah, it was really hard because it was
remember.
my first time, my first job as a cocktail server in Vegas.
Is this 2015?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. I said yes because of the money. It was so hard.
It was so hot, man. It's so hot sitting out there. Yeah.
Imagine my first time
Yeah.
in Vegas, and I asked for help. I learned, but the girls, they just didn't want to help me much, just because, you know, they knew I was the new girl.
Yeah.
And I didn't do the auditions. I kind of like jump in. And I know, I understand, you know, girls, they do the hours audition and like interview. I didn't. I kind of like jump.
Yeah,
jump
for
in.
those of you who don't know, like Lizzie or Jen Mateo or Masha Diduk, they're not going to go to tryouts. Like there's a few girls that live here, they're just going to get the job almost wherever they. Like if Ambry McKee tried to get a job somewhere, she's going to get it like the first try. She's not even going to go through tryouts. There's a couple, and it's not specifically how good looking you are. It's like all of the managers there know you. Everyone in Vegas knows you. They know you're not leaving. You don't have a bad reputation. You're not like hooking on the side or whatever. They know better. You're not a drug addict. And then those girls will end up getting hired. The girl who wins Wet Republic's bikini competition usually ends up working at Wet Republic the next year. There's been a few times where that hasn't happened, but a lot of times that does happen. You've seen that happen before, yeah. You've been in that competition several times.
Yeah. And I think this is something what people usually don't think about as well. Like, yeah, you have these amazing jobs, or, you know, you are pretty, you get the job,
Yeah.
whatever. But to keep the job and be good at it, these girls are really working hard, like
Yeah.
working summers, working, you know, like waitressing
Dude,
or
guest
doing
list.
a bottle service,
Guest
like
list.
Learn so
dealing with the
much.
people. It's hot here. It's hot, you know, so it's
Drunk people,
really,
just
really
everything.
just the strongest survive, and that's why I feel like we are where we are today, because we really put we really put the hard work in, and that's great, because we all know the girls who come here for, I don't know, a month or two and they get fired, or they're just like, oh my god, I can't, I actually have to work,
Yeah.
you know. So
It's a lot of work.
It is
yeah,
interesting.
so
and they
you,
make
you really
It's
do
not
have
easy.
to be a full package.
I tell girls because for the pools they fire everyone and then they rehire every March, or they rehire every January. And I tell the girls, I was like, when the pools open in March, just wait a couple months, because that first group of girls, they're going to fire a bunch of girls who don't cut it. This happens every time. They try to get like the prettiest girls and it just doesn't work out. And I was like, just wait, especially if you're the Prezzo girls, the presentation girls at XS, they're in the queue to be the next girls to work at XS. I didn't.
Hey, so you stayed to the end. If you're still watching this, I have a gift for you. Click the link below and I will teach you how to position yourself as a high status man. And yes, it's absolutely free.